got that Friday feeling. It's day 4 of glorious Goodwood. What a shout, brought to you by the Racing Post and Bet365, our sponsors. Bruce Millington back in the chair. Friday feeling?
Well, I'm feeling good, but you must be feeling ecstatic because that is one of, David, the best susses I've ever seen in my life.
We were talking about John Canoe, of course, yesterday, yeah.
Unbelievable.
It was a remarkable thing. We texted the night before, didn't we? We were chatting about a few things, and I said, I think I found one. You know, and genuinely he had the form, and it's because I'm an analyst in the Racing Post department, and I have done both of his races, and I watched them, and I thought to myself, this might be biting off a bit more than he could chew, but he should no way should be that.
Well, I forgot all about your text, and then yesterday I was out for a run, and I was listening to What a Shout, and you were banging on about this Junker, and I thought I must remember to back it, and then I carry on, and I'm absolutely knackered at the end of my run. And then they're just going in. I see Junker, and I thought, I must back this thing. So I managed to back it at 50-1 each way, Dave. So I owe you a drink, mate. Well done.
You're being modest because Wednesday was your day, wasn't it? Let's face it. Shamard, 22-1, first race, Rafe Beckett. You had a lovely multiple that day. It's been a good week for you.
It's been a really good week so far. So it can only go wrong from now, can't
Absolutely, quite right. And then that point, another man that's having a great week. Great team effort this week, DJ. Early doors on Wednesday at Galway. The highlight for you so far?
Oh, yeah, without any shadow of a doubt. Yeah, he was the one I kind of been waiting for a couple of weeks. And it's funny, he actually didn't jump particularly well in the second circuit, didn't travel that well, but he was just spectacularly well handicapped. When you consider he carried top weight to victory in a Martin Pipe, and he was running off a mark of 139 with 10 stone 5 on his back, and Mark Walsh, I don't think people in England fully appreciate just how good he is, because he hasn't really done it at Cheltenham. He obviously rode Aramax this year, but he is top class, and it'll be fascinating to see what happens between Aidan Coleman and Mark Walsh now that Barry is retired. He's a star.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, DJ and Bruce. Who do we think out of the two? It looks like it's coming down to Aidan Coleman now and Mark Walsh. It'd be Mark Walsh from me. Bruce, yourself?
I don't think there's much in it. I'd really like to see Aidan get a big job like that. I think he's brilliant, but I think Mark Walsh has done absolutely nothing wrong at all. So I think they're choosing between two really good jockeys.
And DJ, if you had to call it?
I think this is not taking the easy way out, but I think they'll use Aidan on the English horses and Mark on the Irish horses. Like when Barry retired, Mark was riding the number ones in Ireland and Barry was riding the number ones in England. And I think they'll do something similar.
Don't forget, if you're not signed up to our sponsors, Bet365, we've got a referral code for you. It's SHOUT365 for 5 up to 100 bet credits. Terms and conditions do apply. It's Friday then, Golden Mile Day we call it here at the Racing Post, but we've got some fantastic races leading up to that. The 110, Mile 3 Handicap. These 3-year-old handicaps on the week are going to be strong form races going forward. Have you got one for us in this?
Yeah, I have. I accused Dave of being boring and tipping favourites on Wednesday. He might be able to come back at me. I'm not actually going for the favourite here, but I'm going for a lot of short ones. However, I am opposing one later on.
You are. We'll get to that. The big one. Yeah.
In this race, I thought it was between Mafia Power and Al Karkar. The market has really come for Al Karkar this morning, and for that reason, Mafia Power is out to a price where you could actually probably back each way. I know a lot of people don't really like backing each way 4-5-1. I do, because I think that, I think it's a really good insurance policy. So I'm going to go with Mafia Power each way. I think is got to that sort of price. But you've got to respect what Al Karkar did last time. Absolutely bolted up by 8 lengths.
Yeah, for King Power and Team Hannon. DJ, are you with a fav here?
No, I had about 5 or 6 horses that I was really looking forward to this week between Goodwood and Galway, and Mafia Power was about number 2 or 3 on that list. I think this is going to be a smash and stayer. I think he's crying out for this trip. He went into my tracker on his debut at Newmarket when he was 4th to King Leonidas, or Leonidas, whatever way you call it. I just thought it was really eye-catching effort. And first time out at Kempton this year, he just was boxed in at a crucial stage, turning for home. Next time at Newmarket was sent off favour for a really hot handicap that Abiel Champion was in. And again, it just turned into a little bit of a sprint. So last time at Haydock, Sylvester de Souza riding for the first time since his debut, just a no-nonsense ride, straight up into a prominent position, sat second, took it up early in the home straight. Like, he won by 4.5 lengths. He could have won by 8 lengths. That's how impressive he was. He's got up £11. That was a really competitive 16-runner handicap at Haydock. I think this track will really suit him, and I'm just hoping it's going to be a carbon copy of Maidani earlier on this week, because I think Sylvester will send him straight to the front. and hug that rail, and hopefully he will stay there. I think Mafia Power at 92 is a massive price.
A lot of confidence then for the Hannon runner. I like Cepheus for Brian Meehan. His run last time at Kempton, he looked green all the way, watch it back, hits the line really strongly, will Buick on. If there's a bit of a tussle up front, I think he'll prosper from this. And Brian Meehan's horses have just threatened to hit the bar. I think he'll go there. Time to bring Pat Cooney into the party from our sponsors, Bet365. Pat, what do you say on the first?
Yeah, in this opener, there's really just been the two horses for money. Number 3, Alquaga, and number 6, Mafia Power. Now, both were impressive winners last time they ran, weren't they? But the handicapper saw them both, didn't he? He's put them up quite a bit for their wins, but they do have the progressive profile. I thought Mafia Power perhaps achieved more than Alquaga when winning last time out, and I think at the prices, Mafia Power strikes me as being value, but there's no denying the favourite is very, very strong in the market. I suppose Cepheus has been solid enough as an each-way alternative round about the 6 mark, but a well-backed favourite to start the show today.
1:45, more group action for you over the 7 furlongs. Don't forget, of course, this is the day where the bend becomes really sharp, isn't it? So I liked Agincourt in this, and then I saw she was drawn 11. I've had to go off her. You're taking on a big one. I can't have one master here. I think if this was, I can't. I think if this was run on the first, a day of the meet, probably one of the bets of the century. Her record on fast ground just has to put you off at under 2-1. She might well get away with it in this company, but at around about 13-8 at the moment, I can't really be having it.
Well, Haggis is obviously concerned about the ground, but he thinks that with that new strip they've opened up, it'll be juicy enough for her. I just think she's different class here. I just think she's too good. It's a 13-runner field, so you're kind of susceptible to a bit of bad luck potentially, but I just look at her form and I just think she's on another level and I just think she wins.
Fair enough. DJ, you're the same, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like the ground thing, I don't know, it seems to be ingrained in people's minds. She was beating a neck in the Falmouth last year on rattling quick, good to firm ground. So it's going to be much slower than that here. I don't get it. And if she repeats that run on good to firm ground, she's going to be impossible to beat. I think her form on quick ground is fine in the context of this race. She's obviously better on slower ground. She's rated 114. She's got loads in hand. You're getting a bigger... If this was at a different track, if this was at Ascot over 7 furlongs, she'd be very close to even money or odds on. Because it's at Goodwood and everybody's thinking of all the hard luck stories with Kamiko and all these horses during the week that didn't get a run, that's why she's this price. So you're basically getting a price on whether she's going to get a run or not. And at 13-8 with Bet365, that's more than generous.
We didn't have one fav yesterday, did we? Not one fav through the card. So, yeah, you're right, Dave. The books will try and put it on. Under the stars for me, Tom Segal's gone for it as well. If she hadn't run in the Falmouth, I'd be really, really keen for her. She's beaten Althika, who's ahead of her in the market, of Godolphin, purely on the fact that she's come out and won a listed race. I didn't think she ran too badly in the Falmouth. I wasn't sure that the ground was right for it or the track. I will give her a chance. But
I think you should have a bit on Agincourt because I don't
let
the draw put you off. I mean, if I get off a horse because of the draw and it wins or places, that's when I really do start hating myself.
Fair enough. You've talked me into it. I will have to have a bit. And Ryan Moore keeps the faith. If you watch back her run at Ascot at the weekend, I know some people that have been following this horse. It's becoming Cliff-like, but she will come late. If she gets a run, she'll go close as well. Pat Cooney, what do you reckon then? Is it one master a good thing or what?
It's really all about one master. The form book says yes, she'll probably win this. I have a reservation in my mind though that I think her best form has been on easier ground. I just hope the ground with all the heat and everything isn't going to be too fast for her. I think if the word soft had appeared in the title, I would think she'd probably be odds on for this. She's got a good draw in stall 1, William Haggis. Ticks an awful lot of boxes, but the one I'm a little bit unsure about is, will the ground be too fast for her? Yes, likely winner. Slight reservation. I think Agincourt will be popular in the market. You know, he had no run at all. She had, I beg her pardon, no run at luck in running here last time, 5 days ago. If you judge her on some of her previous runs, she's got a good Royal Ascot. She's got a bad draw, so she's got things against her, but she is a double-figure price, so maybe she would appeal to me as an each-way alternative to one master there.
2:15, not many runners, but my goodness me, one of the most exciting races of the week. It's hot stuff for the 3-year-olds. It's the Bonhams Thoroughbreds. And finally, we get to see Calusi stepping out of Handicap company. He's short, isn't he? He's training around about 8:13 this morning. Hard to oppose, isn't it?
Very hard to oppose. I mean, this couldn't really be much more different to what happened at Ascot. 22 runners in the Britannia on soft. This is 5 runners on rattling fast ground at Goodwood, but just the manner of that victory was just outrageous. I mean, it was so incredible. I mean, I was one of the people who was on the Crisford supposed good thing.
Finest sound, yeah.
Yeah, and when that took it up, we all thought fantastic. And then suddenly, from out of the right-hand side of the TV screen, this thing in blue just blurs past it and goes and wins. I mean, I wouldn't say I've never seen anything like it, but it's hard to recall something winning a big handicap so easily. Yeah. I think he's gone up, £16? But I mean, he had so much in hand there. He's up against a couple of interesting opponents in Oberon, and Tilsit won by 19 lengths last time. Didn't beat a lot, but 19 lengths is some winning margin. I'm not sure I'd have the life savings on Calusi at 4-6, but I think he's a good one to stick in multiples. So, if you fancy a few short ones today, which I do, he goes into that roll-up bet.
I agree. He's at the top for me. Although Bruce is right, the 2 second favs, they are horses going places as well. DJ.
Yeah, my Oberon is a horse that I think will end up running Group 1s and could win a Group 1. And he's a horse I'm extremely excited about. To see what he did at York last time, where he was really keen for the first 2 furlongs. Like, what he did inside the final furlongs, but 6 lengths between himself and Tazamu, I thought that was exceptional. And I was just dying to see where he was going to go next. And the only horse I didn't want to see him run against was Calusi, because I knew he'd be in a great Group 2 or Group 3. And you potentially got 2 of the most exciting milers at the moment that are just below, the Guineas grade or whatever. And this is really, like, I don't think my Oberon will beat Calusi, but I just think they're 2 absolutely extremely exciting horses. And it's a race to watch. I think Calusi will win, but I think he will have to put up a big performance, because I think my Oberon is going to be a star.
It's sizzling, isn't it? Because Tilsit is a serious horse. The Hills lot absolutely love him. We had Ben Curtis on What a Shout, you remember, a couple of weeks ago, and he was riding at Newcastle the next day, and we said, "Come on, Ben, put up a nap." And he goes, "I'm riding an absolute monster of a horse." And Kills said it will go off 1-9. I think it did in the end, or something like that. But he got off that, I think, and said, "Boys, you can go where you like with this horse." So we are looking at a very hot little race.
It was a bit of value at 1-9, wasn't he? 19 lengths.
It was absolutely unbelievable. Pat Cooney, tell us the winner.
As for the 2:15. Desperately hard to get away from Calusi, isn't it? I mean, he won so well at Royal Ascot, and I just thought, this is a horse that's going to have a real progressive profile. Again, maybe the caveat this time, there was cut in the ground at Royal Ascot. It's going to be faster ground today. Who knows, he might be even better on it, but he has been a well-backed favourite. He's sure to be odds on throughout the market, so likely winner again, with that slight reservation about the ground.
2:45, the Golden Mile, one of the best handicaps of the year for punters out there. A huge betting race, slightly smaller field this year, Bruce, first thing to say. And when the draw first came out at the start of this week, Montatham for William Haggis, the obvious progressive one, outside stall. Still favourite. Finally, the market's adjusted itself.
Yeah, I think he's still pretty short. Prompting's the favourite, and you can absolutely see why. Monstrously progressive. Could still be chucked in, and wouldn't surprise me at all if that one turns this not into a procession but wins with authority. But I'm gonna take a chance on an old favourite. Bless him. David Sincock's so careful with him to get. I mean, he's a non-runner more than he's a runner, but he's so careful to make sure he's got the right ground. This is his ground. His best form puts him, bang in this, and I think he's a big each way price.
If he gets some luck, he's going to hit the luck. Finally, he's got his ground, hasn't he? And we saw what he did to Lord North, at Ascot at the end of last season. We got a brilliant ride.
Yeah, I mean, he could be one that you add to your litany of bad luck Goodwood bets, but if the cards fall right, then I think he's got a really good shout, and he could be an exciting bet.
So Stalls 1-1-3-3, I think, have won this, haven't they? And it's because it is such a difficult task if you're drawn wide. It's card sharp for me. He's back up to a mile, but he's got great Goodwood form. He was rated 1-1-1. They ran about this time last year. He's off 101. Will Buick's on. He's got a good draw as well. DJ, are you going with or against the draw? Who's going to win the Golden Mile?
The closer this race gets, the sweeter I am on one here. I like Urban Icon, the top weight for Richard Hannon and Pat Dobbs. Richard Hannon won the race last year with Beat Laban, a classy horse who ran off 104. And I think in many ways Urban Icon is a similar type of horse. He's got this touch of classic. This is his first ever handicap. He's only a 4-year-old. He won his first 2 starts at Windsor and Salisbury, and then he was thrown straight into a Group 3 behind Mo Hatter at Newbury, and it's been group races and listed races ever since. And I just go back to that run the summer mile behind Mo Hatter. Like Sandonata was in at Dukes of Hazzard. Lord Glitters was just in front of him. He kind of poked up the inside and looked like he was going to, play a big hand of furlong out, and then obviously Muhatar coming and absolutely bolted up. But he was in front just before the furlong pole, and I don't know if any of these could be in front in a race like that coming up to the furlong pole. I thought he ran really well. He was only beaten 5 lengths, and Goodwood, I think, will suit him. I think he's a strong traveller that'll sit just off the pace, and I just wonder, has he got a touch of class in a race like this and could just be better than them? So 14-1 Bet365. I'm pretty sweet on Urban Icon.
There's loads of old favourites in this race, aren't there? It's going to be absolutely fascinating to watch. Pat Cooney, give us some help.
The big handicap, this 245, it's all about prompting. Ironically, is a half-brother to one master ran earlier on in the card. If you like progressive horses who are well drawn from stables in form that win these type of races, well, this David O'Mara horse is a real solid chance and has been really, really well backed. I think it was 6-1 at the start of the week, probably almost halved in price right now. Again, you look at the form and you think, real solid chance. That, of course, was over 7, has form over the mile. This, of course, is an easy mile. Again, maybe he'll stay. He should stay, but it is a but. He's got to come out and prove he's as effective over this trip as 7. Leading chance. My eyes drawn really to Vale of Kent. I can see that one running pretty well. Again, you look at that one's form, pretty good round Goodwood. Typical Mark Johnston in and out type profile, but his good runs are pretty good as well. And I think Card Sharp is an interesting horse, again from the Mark Johnston stable. Been a bit disappointing throughout the season thus far, but last time out was a bit more like it. Finished a good 3rd. He's in stall number 5. Will Buick aboard for Mark Johnson. You could make a plausible case out for him, so maybe Card Sharp at a price might appeal more than the value has gone out at Prompting's price, I feel. So I can look away for each way alternatives in that one.
Right then, 3:15 every day has been the feature race of the day, and Battash comes out, of course, in the Group 2 this time, Qatar Stakes. Now, he's won the last 3. DJ, this just goes and wins, surely?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think anybody who thinks he won't go and win is just an idiot, really, aren't they? I think with Battash, he is without doubt the best sprinter I have ever seen on his day. Now he does bomb out now and again, and we've seen last year in France, what can happen when he does bomb out. He runs like a train. But on his day, like in the Nunthorpe last year, where he earned an RPR of 129, he is without doubt the fastest and best sprinter I have ever seen in my lifetime. Now, I have a theory on this race today, and it's similar to the race last year. I think this horse is so good that they can manage the race today. I think last year, the reason he was so explosive in the Nunthorpe last year was because he didn't give his race away in this race last year. If you watch the race, Jim Crowley didn't go for everything. He just managed the race. It was all kind of more workmanlike than anything. He won by 3/4 of a length. He was 1-4 in the race last year. It was a weaker race than this, and he won by 3/4 of a length from Hootson. I don't think they want to leave York behind in this race. I don't think you'll see this, explosive mid-race move from Jim Crowley on Battash. I think he will probably obviously be prominent throughout. I think he'll take it up maybe 2 out and then just be nudged to win by maybe a length or a length and a quarter. I think this is one race you could back unders on the distances if that's the type of bet you like. I don't think he'll win by 2 lengths or more. I think he'll win comfortably by about a length. But he is the best sprinter I've ever seen, and I cannot wait to see him in the Nunthorpe.
Strong words about Battash.
How can you be that prescriptive about a horse race? He might be right, but that's the most precise analysis I've ever seen in my life.
Well, listen, it works
where he's
out
going to take
now
up, how far he's going to. What's the winning time going to be, DJ?
I can't give you that, Bruce. Sorry.
They're gonna go near close to 56 seconds.
You know those
today.
football bets now where you can build 20 different components.
Yes.
He should have one on this race. He's got it all sussed out.
Listen, you're taking a completely different view on this.
Battash is obviously the likely winner, but Dave did mention there that he does bomb out occasionally. He's won 4 of his last 10. He's not like Stradivarius, who almost always wins. Yes, this is his stage, Group 2, over a really fast downhill 5 furlongs on fast ground. Yes, we know that, but you don't need to be a genius to work that out. So then you're looking at price. He's 3-10 right now. There's a horse in this field that has gone out to a double-figure price, who absolutely smashed Battash on a penultimate start and ran really well last time down the wrong bit of ground on her debut, and it's on a seasonal debut, and that's Glass Slippers. Now, I expect Batash to beat Glass Slippers, but punting, Dave, as you know, is all about value. And Glass Slippers at 10-1 is too big for me. So I can have a small bet on Glass Slippers, and if she gets beat, that's fine. I'm not going to do too much money. I have to have a very big bet on Batash to win a small amount. And I would much rather have a small bet on Glass Slippers and be quite happy to see Batash be at his brilliant best. I think 10-1's a mad price.
Yeah, you're right, Bruce. It's a really good value loser.
Oh.
But, mate, I mean, no one finds good value losers
There's some
like
names
me.
flying about as well, aren't there? Today?
We're unlucky, aren't we, with the old 7 places, but 7 runners. But we've got each way extra, so I'll have a little look at that and see if I can get some money.
Has there been one 3:15 race this week that hasn't been, 7
There's
runners?
There's a lot of 6 and 7s, isn't there?
Yeah.
We've got it all week.
But look, we've had serious drama. What about Liberty Beach then? We're not really giving her a squeak. I have to say, if I was having the forecast, I would definitely be putting Glass Slippers in to reverse that form. I think I'm with you.
And don't forget as well, sorry Dave, Bet365 allow you to take a price on forecast, which is absolutely brilliant. So while Glass Slippers is out at 10-1, that forecast is going to be really good value.
Without markets, it's all there, isn't it? Yeah, don't talk about that. Each way extra as well. Got absolutely slated for that yesterday on social media, despite giving you a 50-1 winner. That's how it works. Of course, I backed it to win as well. I'm going to back Batash here. I'll put him in the multiples, happily doing the double, I think, today. Muggy, some people call it, but Calusi and Batash, that's a nice little tasty double for me. But I do like Glass Slippers as well. And with it, like in the without market, I'll have her match bets or whatever, her and Liberty Beach. I love Liberty Beach. I know she's won here, but I think Glass Slippers is going to step up here. So I'm with you. Let's see what Pat Cooney thinks.
As for Batash, the Batmobile, I suppose he'll win. I don't really see any problems for him. The sunshine is going to increase his chance. I wouldn't be putting up as of now because, of course, you do have that reservation. Will he boil over on the way to the start and so on? But as with Royal Ascot, there's no crowds. I think if I was ready to lump on him at the prices, and I'm certainly not, I would be rather happier to wait and see him down at the start on good terms with himself. I hope he wins, and I suppose if he does fly out, we got his mate Ornate setting the early pace for him. I suppose we'll be talking about will he break the track record or not. So not a punting race, just going to enjoy that one.
3:45, we're going up in distance. It's a mile 4. Lots of characters here, none more so. Some old friends and Desert Encounter, who tries to bid it for a second year running as an 8-year-old. Desert Encounter? It is one of those races,
it might
isn't it?
do. Communique might. Elunat might. Honestly, this really isn't doing it for me, this race. There's a wider issue here, which I'm not going to go on about, but I just feel like middle distance racing at the moment is in a little bit of a doldrums. Look, this is an interesting race. There's a lot of intertwining lines of form. I've gone with Pablo Escobar. I'm quite interested to see Haggis say they're going to change tactics there and not try and make it. So we'll see whether that works. The headgears come off. I just thought on value grounds, Pablo Escobar might be the one
to serve it up. Yeah, he is interesting. I was nearly going to go for him, and I just thought that with them taking back a little bit, they are going to change the tactics slightly on. He definitely wants to strip. He's a course winner. I thought this could be Communique's race. He's one of these horses. Communique's he's got a great strike rate at different tracks, isn't he? Up until this season, Newmarket, he was unbeatable at. He's also very good here as well.
But he's stopped winning, hasn't he?
But I thought last time by Eagles by Day, I thought that was a pretty good run. I don't think he was disgraced at all in the Goodwood Cup, considering it came so quickly. He's tough. And Desert Encounter, I think, faces a different scenario this year. I have got Communique on top, but again, I'm with you. I'm not really inspired by this. DJ, give us some inspiration.
Yeah, Communique has got a good strike rate, apart from when I fancy him, because every time I've tipped this horse up, he's ran like an absolute drain. I really fancied him at Newmarket earlier on this season at the Guineas weekend in that listed race that Dashing Willoughby won, and he ran an absolute shocker. Now, he actually wasn't beaten that far in the end, but he was the first horse beaten, and he was under pressure on the Rymore a long way from home. I just thought last time at York, it was easier for him. He travelled better, and Moonlight Spirit obviously made the run on that day. And, you know, he took it up from Moonlight Spirit quite easily, and it just suggested to me that first win this season was just around the corner. Again, it's not a race I'm hugely excited about. Desert Encounter is one of those ones that will travel really well into the race. Will he go past Communique? I don't know. I'm like you, Dave. I think this might be Communique's day, but he won't be carrying my money.
I've got confidence now. DJ's tipped him and backed him. Happy days. Pat Cooney, give us some more help.
Again, the money horse in the race has now been a Desert Encounter. Again, he's an 8-year-old, but He's taken his time, as he often does, to really hit peak form. I think he's better when it says end of July onwards for the rest of the season for him. And last time out, there was a lot more like it in the Princess of Wales Stakes. He's an 8-year-old. You were wondering, would he come back to his best? Yeah, he was pretty near to it, I thought, last time out. So he's just overtaken Communique as favourite. Communique's solid chance. But Desert Encounter, he often runs very well around here. I think the market has found the correct favourite for him.
4:20, 2-year-olds come out back onto the sprint course. It's another nursery for us. And Simon and Ed Crisford are having a really good time of it recently, aren't they? And Zamani probably might be a warm order here. Do you like him at the top of the market?
I think I do. I mean, the trouble is, obviously, you've got a classic Braveheart in Julie Johnston, who's form figures of 6-1, 3-1, you know, a busy workhorse for Johnston already, might win. Yeah, These nurseries have been tricky, haven't they, this week? They really have, because we've got even less form to go on than normal. So do you really want to be lumping on, taking short prices? Probably not. I've gone with Zamani, but, you know, this wouldn't be a max bet by any means.
Nurseries are not a betting medium that I enjoy, not that much. I don't know many people that go lumping on, certainly not unless it's the back end. However, I really like Perotto here. I think that Julie Johnston and Zamani will take each other on up front. I'm not being quite as precise as DJ in the Battars situation here, but he's a course winner. Marcus Tregoning's having an absolutely brilliant week, isn't he? Everything's running all right. He had the maiden winner, he had the second on the first day as well, and then, of course, we saw what Montalta did as well. So, listen, I think this guy has got a great chance if they go hammer and tongs up front. Could be a bit of value there. DJ?
No, I think the favourite is pretty good here, Zamani. When it was beaten by Tawasal, obviously formed, it was Frank at Epsom. He hit 1.08 in running. He drifted out towards the centre of the track. It looked all over. He travelled all over the horse on his inside. And then last time when he went back to Windsor, I think it was just a case of, right, we just need to win this race just to get his season going. We need to win the race. So he was sent to the front on a real kind of aggressive ride. I think he's crying out to get a lead into a race. And I think Julie Johnston is just going to give that to him. Julie Johnston is going to just go off like the clappers here. I think Zamani is a group horse and he's running off a mark of 89. He's good. I think Thank You Next it will run well as well. Only rated 78. Did well to win a Kempton last time. But I think Zamani, is a class act in this race. So I think 7-4 is pretty fair.
Stick with the class, never a bad thing in nurseries. Pat Cooney, how's your take?
Again, this is a lively betting race. It's a nursery. Zamani, the top weight, has been very well back for the Crisford team. And again, I can see why. Progressive Profile won well last time out, William Buick aboard. But I think a legitimate rival is Julie Johnston, trained by Mark Johnston. And of course, Sylvester de Souza aboard. And this one won ever so well at York, I thought, last time out. She pinged out the traps. Typical Sylvester ride. He took her to the front straight away, and she kept turning on the power all the way to the line. I fancy Julie Johnston. I think stall 8 right on the rails. You could just see Sylvester pop her out, keep the rail, and not relinquish that right to the line. Of course, if Zamani comes through and beats you, so be it. Perotto, again, has been money around for Marcus Tregonin. Of course, had a good Sussex Stakes winner. But I just think Julie Johnston, they know how to ride her. Just bang her out, let her run, and she's got the perfect pitch.
Bring the curtain down then on Golden Mile Day. Just a nice and simple 6 furlong 2-year-old maiden. I'll keep it simple and go for Ventura Diamond here. I covered that Miss Jingles race at Sandown. Miss Jingles had come out and won earlier in the week. Screamed from a terrible draw like she wanted an extra furlong. If she has got that normal improvement, she's going to be very hard to beat. Now, 9-4 is looking skinny enough. Of course, there are others against her. Sarsaparilla probably should have won at Newbury last time. Second time, cheap pieces. She's had her chances, I think. They come for Beckett's as well. So I like the Fav here strongly.
Yeah, I mean, Sarsaparilla, the only positive there is it's trained by John Gosden. 4 runs, hasn't won yet. Going to be exposed.
Certain to win last time got picked up.
I mean, you know, if you look at this, right, there's 10 runners in this race and 6 of them haven't run before. So then you're into pedigree analysis and a bit of a guess up. So it's not a race. Again, it's not a race you're going to approach with monumental confidence. I kind of like Beautiful News for Haggis. The first foal of a decent filly called Beshara, who won a Lowther, obviously.
Yes.
So, you know, you don't really know because she hasn't thrown anything else, obviously. But I just thought at 7-1, you've got a little sport in each way bet there. So, Beautiful News for me.
DJ, guess up or?
Yeah, like Sarsaparilla has been beaten on its last 2 starts, straight at 1.6 and 1.5 in running, just not quite seeing out its races. I thought this was tricky. I thought Rhythm had a chance of reversing the form with Ventura Diamond, was 3 3/4 lengths behind Miss Jingles. So it was a length and 3/4 to make up on Ventura Diamond. Just was so keen in the early part of the race. And you just know, you never know. These Hannon 2-year-olds have just been progressing so much from first to second start that Rhythm, who's a daughter of acclamation, could just make that jump up. It's a big leap to find, but a very tentative vote for Rhythm.
Okay, so listen, some split opinions there. Perhaps Pat Cooney can give us a stronger steer.
Again, the market took a while to settle down here. We originally put Sarsaparilla in as favourite for the Gosden team. It was an improved run last time out at Newbury, and the winner that day is a very well-respected horse of Richard Hannon, who he's thinking is a Group 1 horse. So I would imagine she's got her chance. You are looking at the fact that she's had the 4 runs. Will she stop improving at some point? Her last run would put her in with a big chance, but again, the money filly in the race is number 11, Ventura Diamond, for Richard Fahey, Oisin Murphy. Very promising debut and 4th from a bad draw. The winner of that race has come out and won at the meeting earlier today, this week. She's got a better draw today. I can see wisdom in people thinking she's going to have the improvement with her.
Time for your 4-timer on day 4 then at Glorious Goodwood. Bruce Millington, Nat, please.
Paul Keeley says that one of his weaknesses is he doesn't just keep it simple. I'm going to keep it simple. One Master will be too good for them in the 145.
Super. Dave Jennings.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick off at one in the opener. Mafia Power in the 110. I think he's still ahead of his mark, even though he's gone up £11 for that Haydock win. I think he's a very good horse. So Mafia Power 110, Goodwood.
Loads of confidence then on the day 4. I'm going to follow that in with Perotto in the nursery. The 420 for me. Marcus Dragoni to have another winner. Pat Cooney, follow us in.
My nap is in the nursery, the 420. I know I'm taking on Zamani, who there seems to be quite a bit of buzz about, a well-backed favourite. But on the draw, Julie Johnston, she's drawn 8 right on the fence. When she won at York last time out, she just popped out in front. Sylvester made all, and she looked pretty pacey from start to finish. I thought she's a filly that's finally got the hang of it. I just like the draw, really. She's going to pop out. Sylvester will just let her bowl along. Zamani, so be it if he comes through and beats me. But I think Julie Johnson looked a progressive horse to follow, and I'm going to stick with her today.
Time to sign off then here on day 4 for What a Shout. My thanks to Bruce Millington.
Thank you again for yesterday, mate.
Well, and
filling those
and
betting
for Shamard,
coffers.
it's not just me. We've all been doing it. DJ, early doors. Let's hope the Mafia Power does it for you, my friend.
Yeah, and just one later for viewers at Galway. I think in the 6:15, Seo, there was a bit of 20-1 with Bet365. Patrick Mullins, who won the Galway Hurdle the other day, he is a good horse. If he jumps well, that 20-1 is going to look like a massive price. So Seo in the 6:15 at Galway.
We'll be scrambling to get on our phones now after this, won't we? We expect that price to come caving in. Thanks to Pat Cooney from our sponsors, Bet365. Thanks to you for watching. Don't forget to get your questions in for the panellists on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, however you're watching us. Thanks. We've got one more day to come, but it's all about the Golden Mile Day. Enjoy it. Enjoy your gambling. Gamble responsibly. That's the motto here at Racing Post. Don't forget to download the Racing Post app. You can do that on the App Store or the free Google Store indeed. Golden Mile Day then. Enjoy.